You know, if you're new to the hobby of airsoft, if you're not, this video is here to help you avoid the 4 most common mistakes that most new airsoft players will make when they get started, and stay to the end because I've got an extra bonus 5th mistake that's probably the most important one out there. But enough about that, let's dive on into the list with number 4. You know, with no shortage of some fantastic gameplay out there, if you go on YouTube and watch like players like Jet Desert Fox, Airsoft Alphonse, or if you're more of like the speed soft, like the really fast indoor play, they really have some neat looking gear. But gear doesn't matter, especially if you're brand new. There's a lot of things you should be doing, and gear's not gonna make a big difference with the exception of 2 things, and I'm gonna tell you those in a second. First off, if you're on the field, you really should be learning the rules of your field, learning how to work corners, learning how to work with other people, and especially learning your field's map or layout so you know where to go and where the battles are gonna be. Now, as for gear, there are 2 pieces, like I said, that I would recommend getting. First, invest in really good eye and face protection. Having clear eyesight, a thermal lens, that's what you wanna look for, dual pane or thermal lens, so you're not gonna get fogged up while you play, you can't see, in between games you're wiping it down, or, God forbid, on the actual field itself. The second thing is a tracer unit. They're pretty beneficial, especially if you play indoors or your outdoor field has a lot of indoor buildings, you're going in and out. Having a tracer unit in conjunction with special glow-in-the-dark BBs that work with that tracer unit will give you a huge advantage to be able to see those BBs fly through the air and strike your opponent. So it lets you shoot quicker and maneuver better. I would recommend those 2 things. Now, keep in mind that you have to buy those special BBs, and your airsoft gun has to have the right attachment on the end, which is like a threaded attachment to make it work. And if you're looking for good eye and face pro or a really good tracer unit, I've got a couple links down in the description and in the top pinned comment that'll take you over to a few of my recommendations to get you started on your journey. Sure, playing with your friends is so much fun, and if you practice together as a team, you can have a huge advantage on the battlefield, especially like a MILSIM event, those military simulation events, or at one of those speed soft tournaments like I was mentioning earlier, where it's competitive. But going out to your local field to play for like a weekend day, you don't really need a team. In fact, you can go solo. And I'm speaking from experience. My very first time playing over 16 years ago, I've been at this a long time, I went to my local field all by myself. And I made a ton of new friends. And I promise if you go by yourself for the first time, you're gonna make a lot of friends too and have a great time. It's worth going. The community of airsoft is always so welcoming. So if you haven't had the chance to step on out, go on out and get playing. The next one, buying before you rent. And I will recommend this to almost every new player. If you've not had a chance to go out to an airsoft field and play, a lot of times players will go buy a couple airsoft guns, get their favorites, play in the backyard, and then take that to the local field. Well, I highly recommend doing it the other way around. If you have friends that have airsoft guns, try to see if they'll let you borrow them and use them at the field, or most fields provide rentals for a small fee. I would definitely do that first, get a feel of the hobby and the sport, what you like, what you don't like, and then you'll learn what you want to purchase when it's time to get your first one of your own. If you're playing indoor and it's small and tight, you might be really happy with a pistol. It's good, it's enough to fight the battles, and you don't feel the disadvantage. Or if you play outside or maybe in a bigger indoor field, having that electric gun, something maybe shorter, will give you that good advantage to work the corners and have high ammo capacity of those high capacity airsoft magazines. So again, learn, rent, then make that first purchase. And number 1, and this kind of goes with the one I just mentioned, it's in the number 2 spot, is purchasing a sniper rifle as their first airsoft purchase. I cannot tell you how many players I've seen invest in a sniper rifle because they've watched Novrich or like, famous YouTubers like House Gamers or Swamp Sniper go out and just decimate an enemy team, go on these crazy kill streaks, and really make it look awesome and amazing. But there's a reason they can do that. They've been playing for years or decades, and they have perfected their craft. They've taken their sniper rifle, they've upgraded it to the max, or purchased a very, very high-end one that's highly accurate, and they know how to play that play style. Being a new player, you're at a massive disadvantage if you pick up a sniper rifle and try to go to your local field. First off, you have limited capacity of BBs. Most of them hold 30 BBs or less. You have to cock it every single time between each shot, which means if you miss, the second shot can be seconds away. You have to do it and then you have to reacquire your target. Makes it very difficult. All the while, the opposing team is using electric guns, sometimes even shooting full auto at you or mini BBs a second. All they have to do is just keep pulling the trigger and you're trying to hide and get that next shot off. And you know, Airsoft, it still makes noise. There's no such thing as a suppressor that quiets your gun perfectly, even if you do that. So they're gonna know pretty much where you are. And the investment to get that upgraded gun is hundreds and hundreds of dollars above the price of a regular gun, or you're gonna spend $500, $600, or $700 US or more getting a pre-upgraded one. So my advice is, while sniping is so much fun, I've done it, I've got a few of my own, and I absolutely enjoy the playstyle. It's definitely something you want to look into once you've settled into the hobby and you're more advanced. For a list of sniper rifles I do recommend when it is time to do it, I will have those down in the description as well as in the top pinned comment, as well as some great beginner guns to purchase that are price effective to get you out on the battlefield and to be very competitive. All right, my last one. This is the bonus one before we wrap up this video. And this is probably the biggest one. I see a lot of players come out to the airsoft field and they play and they go up against a very difficult team. Sometimes these local fields have their own teams, and when you're up against that team on the opposing side, it can be pretty discouraging. You get pelted with BBs, it does sting when you get hit, and spending your entire day going back to respawn because you're getting killed over and over again by a much better group of people can be quite discouraging. So my bonus tip to any new airsoft player is give it some time. It's gonna take you a little bit. If you look at all these tips, especially some of the early tips I recommended, learning the field, learning your angles, getting the right gun to use that fits the field you're playing at, you're gonna have a fantastic time. It's kind of like a video game. You're not gonna launch a video game for the first time and be a professional. It takes some time to skill up. Same goes for airsoft. So don't be discouraged if you're out there the first time and doing it. I'm gonna tell you, I've seen so many players just give up and never continue on with the airsoft journey. Those that stick it through those first few games, you get rewarded. Now that we've hit the end of our countdown, I'm curious, for the new players, did this help you? Did I miss anything? Do you have any other questions? I can help you out in the comment section, or maybe you want to see more guides like this. For the experienced players, I'm curious of you guys and gals, how many of these did you do yourself when you got started or see at your local field consistently? I want to know, because I travel around the world a lot playing airsoft, and I've seen quite a few of these myself, and I try to give the guidance when I possibly can for any new player to keep them growing in the sport. Stay tuned and subscribe for more videos like this one here on the channel to help you in your airsoft journey. But until next time, go out, play some airsoft, have some fun, but no matter what you do, call your hits.